give the editor a countdown. So that way he knows what's going on. 3, 2, 1.
How's it going, guys? Brito here with PPG, and I'm here to present to you a Beelzemon deck profile. I'm a huge fan of Beelzemon, and I'm always coming out with different builds. Since I'm getting really excited for the starter deck coming out at the end of the month, I really want to just play Beelzemon, so I'm working with this current list, which I'm really happy for. And I'm here being joined by Mr. Battle himself.
Mr. Battle, Fenrir, aka Mr. Battle. It works either one.
Okay, awesome.
Get into it, brother.
Alright, so starting off with the eggs, I am running 4 of the on-deletion Pagu. Later on, we get the Yaman, the when attacking Mill 2. Currently, there's no other real way to help out the turbo of the trash. Like, this is what really helps supplement that.
Gets the good hits.
Yeah, it gets the good hits. And then, like usual, we have the 4 on deletion Itmons. It's, again, just like my last list, very self-explanatory, just on deletion Mill 3. For the next 4 rookies, we have the 4 EX2 Itmon. A lot of new Beelzemon players, I see them making a misplay of hard dropping him. I usually don't want to hard drop him because I either draw into my Iron Mako or I just pick it up using my Doberman, which we'll see later. So either I Evo into him or I just pretty much hope he gets milled because then I get to practice.
I mean, he's an extender for your mills. That's super good for your deck too.
Exactly. So oftentimes when you hard drop him, you just end up bottom decking everything.
So how often does that DP gain come up for Beal? Because I know you usually destroy things with your effects, but how often does the DP gain come up?
So the way I play this list, I tend to there's kind of a disconnect between my level 4s and then 5 and above. Right. I oftentimes special summon my 5s and up, so this doesn't come up too often, but when it does, it does help out a lot, especially when I'm trying to get over things. But for the most part, the inheritable doesn't come up too much in this list.
Gotcha.
In other lists, I'm sure it does, but in this one, not so much. Alright, and then for the last Itmon, one of BT6 Itmon, I usually have him just as an extra Itmon target for when I mill the EX2 Beelzemon. That's pretty much it. I rarely hard drop him, mainly because, I don't know, when I hard drop him, he's just a blank Itmon for me, because there's only one target that I really want to pick up from my trash back to my hand. For the most part, I want everything in my trash. Yeah,
I feel like he's only there for when you do, one of the awesome plays you do is you play him to trash a blast mode out of your hand.
Exactly.
Like a dead target in hand.
Exactly. But,
pretty good.
But even then, I don't get too many blast modes in hand. When I do, he helps out with that. Of course. Alright, and now for the last of the rookies, this is kind of what really changes in this format for me. I run 3 Ignites. So, Ignites have multiple purposes here. One, his inheritable is super good, especially when I let's say I have him under a Balmon and I swing mill top 3, and if I end up milling into an EX2 Beelzemon that I get to play an Impmon,
I gain a memory. So it's an extra way to gain memory with mills in a way, which is very clean.
Yeah, so it's just even more memory gain that I have in this list. But his when attacking effect also really helps me, again, with the Balmon. One of my favorite things to do, which I set up a lot, is a Balmon in the front, and then I have the Ignite in the back. So when I bring up, when I swing with the Balmon, if he doesn't die off the attack, this guy kills him.
So nice. And then you get to pop a body too when you swing with the Ignite.
Exactly.
And that's cute, because now you're doing
multiple
even
things.
More removal than you were already doing.
Absolutely,
nice.
Absolutely. So this is it for my level 3s. So 4 on deletion Itmons from BT2, 4 EX2, 1 BT6, and then 3 Ignites.
12 rookie count.
12 rookie count. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and put these here like this, off to the side. Boom.
Very clean.
And now for the level 4s. Let's start off with one of the staples, 4 Wizardmon. In this list, I just try to turbo my mills, and to turbo my mills, I just kind of want more and more effects that way. His main effect, well, it's not his main effect. His mill effect, gain memory, great. When attacking, if he's in the inheritables, I could stack my deck. So he's so important in this list. I love him. The second that he was released, and I think it was BT9, BT10 in the box toppers.
I believe it was BT9. It was BT9.
Yeah, BT9. Yeah. I had to get all 4. All right, for the next level 4s, I run 2 Dober, which once again he's kind of a staple in this kind of list. I'm not sure if he will in the starter deck, but in a list like this, we're trying to delete our stuff to get Turbo or Mills. Yeah, on deletion, mill top 2, mill top 3, and then you grab a purple Digimon Tamer from the trash. So he's one of your essentially like swing to your death targets.
Right. You have a lot of those actually, but it's
Yeah.
good because like later on with the Beels, the way the Beels interact with your Imps, it kind of works out.
Absolutely. And then I have one promote. He is my pretty much rush for game. I usually use him. I have different ways to bring him out from the trash, or if I have him in my hand. Let's say I get lucky enough the last turn where one of my swings it brought an Impmon out from the trash. I just eat on top and just swing for game.
Nice.
That actually happens a lot more often than I thought it would. And then for the last of my level 4s, I have 2 Digimon. So this is kind of like a new thing that I've been just started running in my list. He has Retaliation, which will come into place next in the next few cards that I show.
You're a big fan of Retaliation lately, I gotta say.
Oh yeah, well mainly because like the Merva stuff.
Yeah.
Wait, spoilers, I run Merva in this list, so I was trying to avoid saying that. Thanks, Carlos.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
But yeah, Retaliation will come up now in a sec. But when it's hacking trash top 2 cards, it helps out a lot, especially when I have the Beelzemon on top. I just turbo the mills. He's another guy that helps me just turbo the mills. All right, so that's it for my level 4s. I have how many? 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 level 4s. I think that's actually a lot compared to what I used to run.
Yeah, it's a pretty large. That's like a standard number for like stack decks. A little weird for you.
Absolutely. So let's just put these off to the side. Boom. And now,
Breaking into the ultimates.
for the level 5s, 4 Balmon. Before I used to run 3,
right?
but now I run 4 just because now I have the space and I just love seeing them.
And does him bumping up have anything to do with the Digimon? It's like, do you want to trigger that more often?
Yeah, it does help out a lot. Now that I bumped this up, he seemed more viable now. Because like now I get the when it's hacking mill top 2 even more.
Nice.
Yeah, we're recording. Yeah, and then the spicy one of tech of the Cross 4B. He still comes up. I don't see this too much in any other list, but yeah. For those of you that don't know what this card is for, he's essentially another Balmon in the sense where he does take a few more steps to cheat out your Beelzemon, but the way he goes is, if you were to on-play him, you could Digicross with one of your Beelzemon, and it's an on-play 7. I rarely do that because I have other ways to bring him out, but what's important is his armor purge. Let's say he has the Beelzemon underneath. If you find a way to pop him, let's say with your Ignite Mon, you purge it, and you have the Beelzemon out for pretty much very little cost.
Right.
So I'll show you different ways later on how I use him, but for now, just know he's here to cheat out level 6s, as well as he does synergize with the other cross arts in my deck.
Right.
Yeah, and then the last of the level 5s is the one of Beelzemon. This is probably the only list I've used with Beelzemon that I actually hard dropped. Like I don't special summon them in any other means. I literally just try to get 30 cards in trash, 40 cards in trash,
Which
get
you
them
do
in
pretty quick, right?
Yeah.
You get to that number in like 3 turns, 4 turns.
Yeah, I pretty consistently by turn 2 have more than 10 cards in trash.
Yeah.
I pretty consistently do that. I that's one of the reasons why I love this deck. I just love trash. I just love flipping over my deck into the trash. And then now that's it for the level 5s. Put these down here. And now for the level 6s. Let's start off with the 4 EX2 Beelzemon. So yeah, this guy, he helps me control, but honestly for me, more importantly, he just helps me like Shadow Clone Jutsu my Impmons out.
Impmons, yeah. Every time the Impmon swings and the Impmon dies, and like your ideal stack is the Impmon in this.
Yeah.
And you mill 5, it's like, whoa, he's back again.
Yeah, like actually something happened today against in the tournament where I was actually pretty unlucky in the sense where I had pretty much 30 cards in trash and not a single EX2 Beelzemon. So just by doing some quick maths, I knew the next few cards, because I had like 10, 15 cards left.
Just kind of read the room on that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had him out. So I had one on deletion Impmon out, and my opponent, instead of playing Congo, he decided to delete it. And
Worst mistake, man.
I ended up milling it to 3 of these guys, and it just literally
And
my
the
Impmon
just multiplied.
He just
Yeah, it's
multiplied.
awesome.
He just did the Shadow Clone Jutsu, and my opponent was like, "You're so sacky." I'm like, "No, just do the math, bro." Yeah. So 4 of the EX2 Beelzemon, two of the BT10 Beelzemon, Um, he synergizes well with both Balmon and the fact that he's a Cross Hearts, which now when I show the Merva, yeah, he comes up even more. But one reason, the two things I like: one, he has the on play effect, trash top 3, and then for every 10 cards in your deck, in your trash, you delete a level 4 lower. He's really good wide removal, which in this format, the only wide removal is Cross Hearts, which at the same time is this deck's hardest matchup. And then the inheritable when attacking for every 10 cards in your deck. At the end of the attack, not when attacking, at the end of the attack, you gain memory.
You gain the memory, which is cool because that's what you want to do. You want to gain more memory to extend your plays even further.
Absolutely. So, Mervamon.
There's the spicy tag.
Here's the spicy tech, and now everything else I have in here synergizes well with Mervamon.
Right.
There's times where, let's say, I drew like turn 1, I had on deletion Hitmon, and let's say another guy, like let's say this guy. Excuse me. By turn 2, once I have my trash kind of filled up, I hard drop her. Oftentimes I have Ignite Mon because since I've run 3, I usually see them by like the first few turns. I get Digicross. I do pass it over my opponent to like at least 5. I've done it for less before. Like I've left them at less depending on how much they leave me at. But I pretty much either bring out level 4s or I bring out 2 of the on deletion Hitmons, and it literally just looks like a mom walking down the aisle at Walmart with her kids.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think about it, putting your opponent to 5 memory, passing your opponent over at 5 memory to put out 3 bodies is not that bad.
Not that bad at all.
5 or 6
Not
memory
that
just
bad.
doesn't feel nearly as bad as it should.
So her Digicross targets are mainly Beelzemon or Ignitemon.
Right.
Ignite if I want to try to choke, Beelzemon if I want to try to get cheeky, especially if they have like a de-digivolve mechanic in their deck, then I just know it.
Right. And then you can set up to go into your higher levels.
Absolutely. So Mervamon works really, really well in a lot of different aspects of this list, and I'm super happy that I added her to the list. Then for the level 7s, Blast Mode.
There he is. He's
Excuse me
iconic.
again. Yeah, he's just really, really good in this list. All right, so boom, those are my level 6s and 7s. So let's boom. Let's use this area now. So yes, 3 Ein Mako for the Tamers. Boom, kind of like a staple for the current list. I think for the starter deck one, I'm not going to be running the Ein Makos.
No, you're taking out the Iron Makos, your
Yeah.
memory tamer. That
Yeah.
synergizes with your deck.
Which once I start coming out with those lists, I'll explain more why.
Right. We'll get there.
Sorry, excuse me, guys. All right, for now the options, 3 Jack Raids.
That's definitely new.
Yeah, that's
New change.
Yeah,
But, I mean, again, with the Mervamon, it synergizes really well.
yeah, definitely. Because just the memory gain in this list, it helps out. It helps out going for game. The one of obligatory calling.
Yep.
Yep. 3. Well, actually, not 3.
Should be 4, right? Yeah.
4 Death Singers. Before I actually had them at 3 because I just needed to make space for everything else. But
But now you just want those memory gain targets.
yeah, before I used to have a lot of self-pop stuff, like let's say Deathclaw.
Right.
Not only to get rid of the floodgates, which
Right, but to
honestly
also,
they don't really come up too much in this format.
Not a lot of floodgates running around. Purple still has to run them, but that's always been
Yeah.
purple, right?
Definitely, and even then I have different ways of popping them.
Right.
And then yeah, so I swapped out the self pops for ignites.
And that makes sense because
Yeah.
it's slower in a way, but you get more value out of being able to swing with a body and pop a guy.
Absolutely. And now for the last 2 options, I'm still running 2 of the Revive from Darkness. This still synergizes so well with my deck.
Yep.
Oftentimes, depending on the setup, I can get like I use this to either bring out Promote for game, or do some cheeky plays where I bring him out. I use Digicross. I put the Beelzemon under. I don't get the on play, but I still get the Digicross because Digicross is not on play. So I usually have a lot of different techs, a lot of different combos with Revive from Darkness. But pretty much mid to late game, if I'm about to go for game or if I need to go defensive, Mervamon comes out, and oftentimes these what I try to bring out if I'm going defensive, the Devigramons.
Right.
Or if I'm still trying to turbo my mills, I go for Intmons or even Dobermons.
Right.
Do you have any questions on this list, Carlos?
No questions. I mean, I just like looking at the list. I feel like a lot of people think that Beelzemon is all like gamble, and you play a lot of one-ofs, but you know, considering you're milling your entire deck, it's not so much of a gamble.
Yeah.
Like if your deck is doing what you want it to do, then it should mill your whole deck, and then you're able to search through your trash like a second hand.
Yeah, exactly.
So it doesn't feel that bad. The thing about the like Beelzemon, especially you showed me this because when I see you play it, it really pops out. Is that when you think about if you know your deck well, after the initial mills where you don't know what's going to happen, you can then predict the next mills, and that'll let you shape your game plan. It's not 100%, but it's really nice to be able to do that, and it's really rewarding when you know your own deck and you're able to get those mills that you're looking for.
My favorite thing to actually do is when it's pretty late game and I start looking at like how much of my Death Stingers and Wizardmons I've milled, and I've noticed I've only milled like 3 of them, and I know the remaining 5 are still in my deck. And let's say I have Lucemon out or any level 5 out, and I have a Beelzemon in hand, and I'm about to Evo pass turn, but I get to mill. I just like looking at my opponent, and I'm like, I'm gonna sack the hell out of you. I Evo, I mill the memory, I keep turn, and I just like, haha, in your face, calculated.
Yeah, you call it sacking, but realistically, it's like you have to know at that point. When you're that late into the game and you're like 25 cards, 30 cards in trash, you can pretty much guess what's left in your deck.
Pretty much. All right, so that's my list, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and stay topping.
Remember to keep topping.
Yeah. Did you even check if the volume was working?
Of course.
It was like midway through I thought of that, but I'm like, it's too late now. It's too late at this point. Excuse me. Oh, okay, we're good.